Every single day, I am reminded that I live in a totally different reality than a lot of the other people who are living right here in the same country as me. Especially when it comes to how people responded to the beer bug and the lockdowns. I never really fell for the scam. I know that some people took it more seriously than others, and I don't really blame them for that. I know that depending on where you live, you may have taken things more seriously because your governors, your mayors, your city council members may have taken it more seriously. Living here in the South, we were like the least strict when it came to the different rules and stuff that were put in place. But in the year 2024, I think it's about time that everyone gets over it, right? And for the most part, most people have, but there still is a significant portion of people scattered in various places throughout America that are still taking the situation really seriously. It's almost as if they never want anyone to ever go back to normal. And I don't think that it's really because they're scared of the beer bug in the year 2024. I think it's because they've grown comfortable hiding behind their mask, not having to show their face. I think they've grown comfortable not having to interact with the outside world, not having to interact with other human beings. I think that a lot of these people who are still clinging to wearing a mask and staying home and social distancing, I think that most of these people have extreme forms of social anxiety. I think a lot of them are weirdos, and whatever anxiety and problems they had, I think the lockdowns made it 10 times worse. Also, I do think a lot of people have just become addicted to the virtue signaling of it all. But earlier today, I was reminded once again that, I'm just in a totally different galaxy. Right here in America, I'm on a totally different planet than a lot of the people who are living in California and stuff like that, because I came across this headline about the people who are working on GTA 6. They're all in an uproar because it turns out that they're about to have to return to the office for the first time since the lockdowns. You got that right. I know that most of you all watching this video, you probably never stopped working. You're probably busting your ass doing hard labor, random things like that. Well, people who literally get to make video games for a living, I'm not trying to say their job is easy, but they're now complaining. They're now literally freaking out and having emotional breakdowns because for the first time in like 4 years, they're being required to actually show up to work. Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably the most highly anticipated video game in history. And I feel like we should have gotten it a long time ago. But we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And all of the people who are working on it, they're all working remotely from home, which is why you keep seeing certain portions of the game leak online. And I believe that the company is trying to get ahead of that. We're right here, at the finish line. They're right at the end of putting this game together. So they want everyone to be in the office so they can create a better game than they can working remotely from home. And these people have their panties up in a bunch. They're freaking out. You would think it was the end of the world. And it's crazy to me because I was working all throughout the lockdowns. I was even helping elderly people. I was at nursing homes helping people, all of that. Meanwhile, these people in the year of 2024, when no one even gives a damn about this stuff anymore, they're crying as if they're going to automatically just die if they have to walk into the office place. Let's go ahead and dive into this article really quickly. A new report confirms that as Rockstar Games is entering the final stages of development on Grand Theft Auto 6, the company is mandating that employees must return to the office 5 days a week starting in April, to no applause from anyone. In an email to staff, the company's head of publishing said that the reasoning for the mandate came down to productivity and security concerns, particularly following a huge breach in 2022 that spilled the tea on GTA 6. She also said that Rockstar Games found tangible benefits from bodies being in office seats. Making these changes now puts us in the best position to deliver the next Grand Theft Auto at the level of quality and polish we know it requires, along with a publishing roadmap that matches the scale and the ambition of the game. Now that sounds nice, but no one is buying it. On Twitter, developers decried the decision, calling the return to office mandate BS. Return to office mandates are layoffs. Remote workers are effectively told to quit. It's not just folks outside of Rockstar Games that are upset with this mandate. Developers at the studio are criticizing the company's decision as well. Speaking to the publication anonymously, one employee said that working from home has been a lifeline for many of us. Rockstar Games needs to rethink their reckless decision-making and engage with their staffs to find better solutions. I'm sitting here almost at a loss for words. Think about it. It's a reckless decision for a company to expect their employees to show up at work? But I don't feel bad for Rockstar Games. I don't feel bad for any of these woke companies because they made their bed and now they have to lie in it. They wanted to appease the woke mob. They go out of their way to hire SJWs. They go out of their way to hire these weirdos. And then they wonder why everything is going to crap. And then they get surprised when their own employees turn on them. But what did you think? You're literally hiring blue-haired SJW cancel culture freaks. And you think they're going to do what's best for your company? No. They're going to tear you apart from the inside. It's happening at every single company. Rockstar Games is no different, but let's read a little bit more. Further, the Independent Workers of Great Britain, a union that represents UK developers, has also slammed Rockstar Games for their return to office move. The workers in the IWGB Game Workers Union at Rockstar are pushing for transparency over pay and promotions, a healthy and inclusive workspace culture, and work-life balance centered around what each worker needs. It is unacceptable that Rockstar leadership have gone back on their word time and time again and have ignored the workers' request for basic working conditions. Workers across the industry are done with letting executives make reckless and harmful decisions, and the Rockstar workers are showing us the start of what's to come if they're continually ignored. So these people are freaking out. They're absolutely losing their freaking minds, saying that it's unacceptable to expect your employees to show up at work. That is unacceptable. Saying that, their basic requests for basic working conditions are being ignored. A basic working condition is you showing up to work. But this is what we're dealing with. As we're waiting for the biggest video game release of all time, the people behind the scenes responsible for making this game, they're crying Instead of working on the game to give us the best product possible, they're crying that they may have to actually go to work for the first time in 4 years. For the first time in 4 years, meanwhile, most of you all watching this video, you either never stopped living your normal life and living your normal work schedule, or it picked up very quickly after the lockdowns, right? These people think that this is just going to stretch forever, that they're going to use the beer bug as an excuse forever. It's absolutely insane to me. But like I said, it just goes to show that even though we're all here sharing the same country, a lot of us are living in separate realities. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.